Alexander Scriabin's second piano sonata, the Sonata-Fantasy, has two movements. The first is an expansive, spacious yet gripping drama, and to wrap it up, Scriabin closes the sonata with a turbo-fast Presto. This movement is effectively something that's called a Moto Perpetuo, a never-ending stream of notes. It means literally perpetual motion or infinite motion. And the most known Moto Perpetuos in the repertoire is one for the violin by Paganini and the Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. And in the piano repertoire we have, for example, Schubert's second Impromptu in E-flat major, with these never-ending scales going up and down. And a little bit in Beethoven, the last movement of the Tempest Sonata and the Appassionata Sonata is a little bit of Moto Perpetuo, with the melodic lines, feels like they're never ending. Now in the Scriabin movement, it's very fast and very technically demanding, so it's basically an etude. And it's almost like a Chopin etude, because Scriabin was heavily influenced by Chopin in this early period, but there's still some more nerve that makes it truly a Scriabin music. And in Scriabin's own words about this movement, where he talks about the sea being the inspiration for the sonata. The second movement, Presto, shows the stormy agitation of the vast expanse of the ocean. So the right hand has these equal triplets that are both melody notes and supporting chord notes mixed together in a really cool way. And the left hand has this marching pattern that we also had in the first movement. And this is totally the same vein of that, just even more pregnant. And also, for each two bars, we have these hairpins, crescendo and diminuendo, that creates these giant waves that Scriabin was thinking about. And there's an 8-bar sequence of that. And then we have exactly the same material but in a higher position, so raising the stakes a bit. This is so hard to play this, really like a Chopin etude or a Scriabin etude. Now we get a little bit of contrast with a much more tenderly music here. It's like the glitter that we had in the first movement also, just sprinkled chord notes. And going back to the first theme again. And the form of this piece, it's like a rondo. So we have one theme that returns throughout the piece. So we have the theme first, and then a small episode with the dolcissimo, pianissimo. And then we have the theme again, and now we take a new turn, and we're gonna go to a new episode. And it starts with a really powerful grip of the left hand. So. Reaches a high and comes down and cools off. And here starts the kind of the middle section. This is a complete contrast. It's a melodic line in the right hand. And the triplets are still there, but in the left hand in the background, and much easier than when they're in the right hand in the beginning. So basically just E flat minor we've modulated to now. it starts piano, but almost immediately we get a big crescendo and these big outbursts and sforzato. It's really painting with the big brush, the big feelings. And suddenly piano. This is such a cool place, and I actually feel this meter differently here. So I feel them as 3 bars in 4 instead of 4 bars in 3. So and this is the same melodic line, but we're now in B flat minor. And this is another thing, we're modulating through different keys here, and that's a feature that's typical for a development section in a sonata form. So it's kind of a Sonata-Rondo form with a middle section development thing here. And this place is so great. It's like we're lifting from the ground and flying in this pianissimo. And here, really complex rhythmic stuff again. It's triplets within triplets. And now these bars that I feel in 4 again. But now they go in another harmonic direction to major, D flat major. And we're kind of consolidating the tonality D flat major here. And also another typical Scriabin thing, we have these small canons. So it starts a melody, and then the same melody comes in before the first one has finished. So again, and then. So just switching to minor, D flat major to minor, it's C sharp minor, it's just an easier way of spelling D flat minor. Same canon. But now something happens with this E 7th chord. So here starts a transition that goes back to the return of the theme again. So we get these flashes of the right hand scale motions here. Growing. Left hand. And we're back. This is basically a full repeat of the theme, the 2 times 8 bar sequences. Until. So now we're in the coda, the piece is ending soon, and now we get a different ending for this Moto Perpetuo. It's a much more satisfactory closing with these dramatic chords. And here is an echo from the middle section with a legato melody in the right hand. More chords. These are so great chords. This is a classic German sixth chord with a D sharp dominant pedal underneath. And a dominant 6/4 chord. And here the German sixth chord again, but in an inverted voicing. So the C double sharp is below and the E is on top instead of. This is first and then opening up a bit. And closing with the cadence to G sharp minor. Here's a French sixth chord. And this legato melody takes over. And here we also have these, it starts to become trills. They're still notated every note because it's very fast notes. But there is an idea here of kind of breaking down music in the smallest possible elements. And then you're left with like two notes. Like that's eventually becoming a trill when they merge. And you just get a hint of it here, that is like flaring up in these small elements. But there is another piece in the repertoire. Beethoven does this more profoundly in his last sonata, opus 111, in the end of the second movement there. He really goes down to the smallest and you get the trill with a lovely melody. And you get a hint of it here in Scriabin as well. So we get this pianissimo, but you can kind of feel that something is going to happen because it's so dramatic. And this is the same type of structure as the previous bars, where I feel them in 4 instead of 3. So I feel these in 4 as well, and that means that I add 2 extra beats so that it goes out evenly. And then I can hold this pianissimo even longer. End in a dramatic fashion. Thanks for watching Sonata Secrets. Subscribe if you're new here, and now I give you the Presto from Scriabin's Sonata-Fantasy opus 19. Thank you for watching Sonata Secrets. Check out my other videos and also check out patreon.com/sonatasecrets for my premium subscription model.